So here's something we've rarely spoken about on this channel. Doom ports. Now, as you guys know, Doom has been ported to everything and continues to be ported to absolutely anything. And a little while ago, we talked about an article that we had come across speculating not that we should stop porting Doom to everything, but what's the next game that should be ported to everything? And of course, id Software stuff has been ported to other things. Wolfenstein, Quake have gotten their fair share of ports, but nothing to the degree that you see with Doom and the ridiculousness you see with Doom. Then I came across a video that I shared with Kelly where someone had come upon these fan ports of Wolfenstein for 8-bit systems. And not just any 8-bit systems, but Sega Master System, Game Gear, Game Boy, and the most shocking, which he doesn't even address in the video. So I assume that he just can't believe it's happening, or he's going to make a whole other video about it. But the SG-1000, which is mind numbing that it's on there, it might as well be playing on a potato at that point. It doesn't make sense. But as soon as I saw this, I had to get these ROMs. Luckily, he included a link. I got the ROMs, all four of them, in one handy zip file, not that they're particularly large. Immediately threw them on my Super Console X, immediately played all four of them. And then I even put one on real hardware for the Game Boy just to see what the differences were and make sure that it would play on real hardware. Although he did assure in that video that at least for three of them, they were being played on real hardware and that everything played correctly. So, Kelly, first off, where are you at on Wolfenstein 3D and Wolfenstein as a franchise? And then what was your reaction to this?
Well, we also did another show mentioning Wolfenstein, which was that a lot of folks assumed Doom was the Amiga killer, and there was a pretty good video out there that we discussed that said actually it wasn't Doom, it was Wolfenstein that killed the Amiga. And still, during that show, I mentioned I just can't quite understand, given the Amiga's power on graphics and music, how it couldn't pull off Doom or Wolfenstein, but it couldn't. We did get Gloom, and there was that. So I've always, I've liked Wolfenstein. I spend more time with Doom than Wolfenstein, obviously, but it's obviously in the same family, very much so, and a predecessor. It's a pretty fun game. I'm I don't have that amazing commitment Mike has to get the ROMs downloaded and on a Super Console X and done. So I haven't yet. I have downloaded them. So I am one step. I haven't unzipped the file yet, but I have downloaded them. So I will get that on my Super Console X soon and get some gameplay experience. But the video we'll share a link to in the description does a really good job in giving you a spin through most of the platforms, as Mike mentioned, not the SG-1000, which should be interesting to see. And was that built out of like rock? The XC, I can't remember what the
Pretty much.
branches.
So, yeah, for anybody who's not familiar with it, it's a much, much lesser known system. It was an early Sega console. So, for perspective, the Master System, which is what it's called outside of Japan, is actually the third iteration of the SG line. In Japan, it was called the Mach 3 because it was the third in that line. So, imagine going two console iterations back from the Master System. So basically, just a tiny hair over maybe early 2600 games. The SG-1000 was doing. I believe it had like 10 or 12 on screen colors that it could produce, or total colors, maybe not even on screen at the same time. So you're in Atari 2600 territory, not at 7800 territory, maybe a little better than 2600 and what it could do. So imagine somebody being like, "Hey, I made Wolfenstein 3D. It's still a first-person shooter, and it's playing on Atari 2600." That's just mind-boggling to me.
A platform notable, not included in the download, was the 2600 version of it.
Yeah, they need to get on top of that. So
I mean,
Wolfenstein, so for anybody who doesn't know, because Wolfenstein 3D was so big, most people think the 3D is just because the 3D perspective or fake 3D perspective that the game provides. It is actually the third Wolfenstein game. The first two were computer games, and they were stealth games where you had to sneak around this sort of wireframe room. Think Berserk with swastikas in it, where you had to sneak around Nazi castle. And you could even like when you would kill people, you would steal their uniforms and things like that to go undercover. It was very, very rudimentary, but kind of gave you an idea of what was going to come later with some of the more stealth games that came out. Nothing at all like Wolfenstein 3D though. But id Software wanted to work on their ray tracing engine that they were working on. They were big Wolfenstein fans, so they got the rights and made the game. And it is completely ditches the putting on Nazi uniforms and stealth and all that kind of stuff in favor of a rudimentary version of the action that we would eventually get into.
yeah, and it occurred to me as you were talking about that actually my RG35XX is going to be the ROM platform. So that way I'll still get that handheld experience there, and I can put it on all of those systems and emulate it and kind of see what it looks like. So how did you put it on your physical Game Boy? Do you have a Ever card for?
I have an EverDrive. That's how I played the Slapdash games
Oh, that's right. That's right.
on original hardware. So I do have an EverDrive for this. So when I played them, so I knew from the video and a lot of the footage that he shows in the video is of the Master System version because it is by far the best looking and playing version of it. Now, all of these games, obviously, this is a demake of the game, so you're losing a substantial amount of frame rate, draw distance, detail. Don't expect this to be like the PC game or the later ports like Jaguar and 3DO, which ran better and had more content than the PC game. Don't expect anything like that. This is a big step down from the original PC game. But that being said, the Master System version still kind of holds its own. It's a little choppy in parts. The draw distance isn't great. The frame rate's not is far from perfect, but it runs and it's more than playable. I was having fun playing it. It's essentially just the first mission of Wolfenstein 3D. So, you're not getting the whole game in there. It's one mission, it's 9 levels.
Eight levels and one to earn the ninth level. Yeah, so
Yeah.
9 levels. So
So 9 levels total with the level select for the first 8. Other than that, there's no options, there's no difficulty settings or anything like that. The hidden rooms and stuff all appear to be there. I'm going to be playing through the whole, at least the Master System version, the whole game soon, so I can get a better understanding of it. But essentially, what it looks like he did, similar to Wolfenstein, much like Doom, id Software ported it to the Jaguar themselves, and they made even more so than with Doom a lot of changes to it for the Jaguar one. It's essentially completely reworked levels and entirely newly drawn sprites. That became for a while, just like with the Jaguar port of Doom, the port of Doom that everything was based off of. So the Super Nintendo, 3DO, even the Mac version are all actually based off the Jaguar version. The redrawn sprites, the redone levels. The 3DO version, ironically, because Doom is so laughably bad on 3DO, the 3DO version of Wolfenstein 3D, in my opinion, is probably the best version of it. Because not only does it include the entire Jaguar game, but it also includes the entire PC game with the new sprites from the Jaguar version, replacing the old sprites. And that includes all of the expansion packs and everything as well. So you get like 100 levels or something. So it is by far the most content of any version of Wolfenstein. This is obviously on the leaner side of that with just 9 levels. Again, it plays surprisingly well on Master System. It's not great, but pretty well. The handheld ports are a lot choppier and losing even more fidelity as you'd imagine. I suspect it playing it on Super Console X though, that it would play better on real hardware because the smaller screen would kind of negate some of that choppiness or jitteriness to the movements, and it does. So when I did put it on here, again, doesn't look great, but it's kind of awesome to be able to play Wolfenstein 3D on original Game Boy, and it is playable still. And the Game Gear and Game Boy versions are very similar in their presentation. Again, he kind of made it looks like he took the Master System version and everything else is just ported from that. Um, Now the SG-1000 version, the frame rate's the worst. It has very, little color. The draw distance is terrible. You'll be walking in a hallway and immediately there's just a guard in front of you. He just pops out of nowhere in front of you. It's not great. But again, it shouldn't be running on here. It should not be recognizable as Wolfenstein 3D, and it is. Like the guards and stuff look pretty good. And even though it's losing even more detail than the other versions, the fact that it's running is kind of amazing.
Yeah, and really, I think on all of these versions, based on the gameplay footage that I've seen, you are going to get a certain element of the teleporting guard, where the with the it's like, oh, he wasn't there a moment ago, but uh, again, amazing it's running on any of these with the decent fidelity and with the additional grace provided on the fidelity for the SG-1000. It looks pretty sweet. So it's pretty great work. It's awesome to see what people can do. I do think the RT35XX is the perfect home for me for these. It'll also be a lot easier for me to get that up and running. So I'll do that across all those platforms. Not that it's hard on my Super Console X, but I can do my testing a lot quicker because I do it up on my computer and I can have my RG35XX right with me. So it's life's a little easier. And so I need that.
Well, I have a EverDrive for Genesis that's on the way. That in addition to Genesis, 32X, and Sega CD games, also plays Master System games. So I'll be able to throw the Master System version on there and play it on the Genesis and see how that runs as well.
That'll be pretty awesome. Hey, folks, let us know in the comments if you've pulled these down. We'll include, we're going to include a link to the video. We'll include a link to the download location as well, so you can get these ROMs and give them a look. And but let us know in the comments if you do that. If you're a big Wolfenstein 3D folks, any kind of backstory there is always great to kind of hear. What system you'd like to see now covered? The Nintendo 64. There's a Nintendo 64 Wolfenstein, right? Isn't there?
No,
Oh, there you go. That should work. That shouldn't be too bad. It won't be the Paperboy version. Still trying to wrap my head around Paperboy and the Nintendo 64. It's good, but it's a different world.
it's
But yeah,
weird. Yeah.
Wolfenstein would be pretty sweet on the 64. So get on that, nebulous homebrew group, people with talent. And the Toy 600 version would be good too, but um, I'll go with 60. My vote's 64. You have any other platforms you'd like to see it on?
Virtual Boy.
Oh, of course, 100%. And then therefore the Bog Boy version, Bog Boy will be 100% compatible with Virtual Boy titles. So we just want to give you that promise here. But let us know in the comments if you in their system you would have it on it, or you're going to be using these ROMs and how cool you think it is. So if you're interested in getting additional information on this or other fascinating things in the world of retro gaming, music, whatever else crosses our mind to talk about, be sure to subscribe to the Bog Panda YouTube channel. It's totally free. With that totally free cost, you will get a daily podcast called Hard No. It's the world's shortest podcast, every episode under a minute. There's really no excuse not to listen to Hard No. There's really no excuse for you not to go out to our merchandise store and buy merchandise. And there's really no excuse that you shouldn't go to Bog Panda Vision and download many of the many games that are currently out there for Game Boy Color, Game Boy, Doom levels. Shortly there'll be Super Nintendo one out there. I just haven't got to it yet, but that'll be out there. So there's a growing number of downloads. All those completely free as well. Anything else, sir?
Yes, I want somebody to take Quake, make Doom playable inside Quake, and inside that playable version of Doom inside Quake, make Wolfenstein 3D playable.
And then within Wolfenstein, have it playing Halloween from the Atari 2600.
Bog Panda.